A joint meeting between concerned Congress members of the Nigerian Football Federation and Professional Football Players Association of Nigeria, Professional Football Association Nigeria, Project 2022 Task Force at Reno Hotel, Abuja on Monday, 20th June 2022. Resulting from the delay in convening the 2021 Nigerian Football Federation Annual General Assembly, which the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation attributed to the interim order of injunction given by the Federal High Court in Bayelsa. Well, this is a family. It's a family affair. And we wouldn't say we're docile, but of course, we've been here and making sure that we give every support to those that were put in positions to pilot our affairs. And again, when we find out that they have a problem, it's our position to come in to help solving the problem. And that's exactly what we're doing now. Because I think they have a problem, because we can't move forward. We cannot hold our usual annual general assembly or any meeting or in whatever guise that it may be at any time. And so we found out that they are kind of in a situation where they need help. And that's what we're here to do. We're now trying to help them to removing that impediment so that we can now pave way for these meetings to hold.
As we are aware, we have 5 statutory bodies that makes up the Federation. And it is very clear in the statutes that those 5 bodies are of equal status. And any of those bodies can make a proposition for the amendment of the statutes, provided that the due process is followed. So what the Players Union did is not something that is unusual. We just wanted some aspects of the statutes to be amended, and we followed the due process. Irresponsible leadership will not degenerate to where it is. The most important member that makes up the Federation is saying, look, we are not very okay with this. We need some of these amendments. Irresponsible leadership will immediately look into the possibilities of trying to get it resolved. So they took the initiative, to get it done, and we've resolved.
Well, that's coming from that particular communique that was issued by the Players Union and also the FA members. Well, it was a big one right now. That issue has been generating a lot of dust, and we hope that it will be settled. Well, they actually agreed to settle out of court for that Congress to be called for the election to come up in September. That's the NFF issue right now. Welcome you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. A lot to talk about on that particular story. You just saw the clip there. We have in the studio Olawale Peters. Let's have you. Good morning.
Good morning, Adeni. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good one. Now we'll be looking at this particular issue where NFF elections minister intervenes as plaintiff agrees to withdraw court case. You just saw that clip where the Players BOT, they actually came together, and also all the Congress members, they had to do about 18 of them. They came together, okay, we'll be striking out of court, but for this particular Congress to be called and then for the election to come on by September, just as the minister intervenes, and the issue right now is a big one.
Yeah, it's a very big one. Going by the press conference that we just showed now, and he made a statement. He used an adjective: responsible leaders, on like 2 or 3 occasions. So that shows that we have people that are not responsible governing the football administration in this country, because they shouldn't have allowed it to degenerate into what we have currently. Like he said, yes, they are family. You have an issue to disagree, but to agree for the common goal of the nation, not for your own personal interest. So it shouldn't be up to it shouldn't get up to the level that the federal government, they have to interfere. And before the federal government will interfere, they will write that letter. So that means there has been a lot of sinister move behind that we are not aware of. Probably some people from NFF, they are sponsoring those that instigated that court order. Please continue with this. don't let them have this Congress by September. In one way or the other, they will have tenure elongation. Because if they didn't remove that suit at Federal High Court in Bayelsa, there's no how they will hold Congress.
And the election will
The
hold.
election will not hold. We are in June, July, August, September, just 2 months and few days now. The process of the election have not even started at all. So either two ways, they want to have their tenure elongation, even though Amaju Pinnick came out in April that due to family pressure,
he won't be contesting.
Though legally, he has a right to contest for the third time. Now, let's see now if he's playing on our emotion, or he will come back now and said his family have already reconsidered his plea.
And now, watch this. Just what as you have said, I remember Patrice Motsepe, CAF president, was also saying, okay, we still need him. That statement, a lot of people are looking at, okay, are you automatically or indirectly saying he should contest again? Although legally, according to what he said, that he can't contest, but his family are saying, okay, just rest now. And because of the ex parte or the court injunction, which now they've agreed that they will be removing the suit from the lawsuit right now is going to be quashed out, and now we can have the Congress. A lot of people are waiting for what will the NFF say now, because yesterday during the press conference, all the FA chairmen that were there and also the players union coming together after they met with the minister who actually intervened that they should strike out this thing from the this issue from the court so that the Congress can hold. From the way it is, people are waiting. What's going to happen next?
Yeah, we are waiting to hear the next story, and I hope it won't be a story that touches the heart this time around. And like what you said, when the CAF president came to Nigeria before the final match of the CAF, he said in May that they still need Amaju Pinnick because he has done a lot in developing Africa and Nigerian football. And a lot of people ask questions, if he has helped you politically, doesn't mean that he has done a lot for us in this country. Amaju Pinnick is the longest serving NFF chairman in the history of this country since 1960. He is the 38th president of NFF. He has been there since 2014 till date. And between 2014 till date, have you won any Nations Cup for the Super Eagles? The best we got was 3rd position. So what has he done to develop the game of football from the grassroots? What has he done to help the Nigerian Professional Football League? What influence has he given Nigeria being a member of CAF and FIFA? What have we achieved from this NFF current administration as a nation? But as an individual, I don't want us to go into that. So when we have people that are selfish, that they only care to protect their own interest, running an affair of a country, the result is what we have now. The next thing, what we need to do is to go out now to let people know that you've told us that you're not contesting for the 3rd time. And based on your scorecard, based on your performance for the past 8 years, we don't want to continue with you. Not only you, to be sure that most of his inner circle, inner cabal, because they work more like a secret court in that place. So we should make sure that we don't have any one of them running our football administration in this country again. Sincerely, it is sad the way they are running it. And they are doing it with impunity. Impunity in the sense that I will do it and nothing will happen. So we have to really, really look into that. It is very, very, very sad. Even not because of the Super Eagles, the Flying Eagles, the Golden Eaglets, that they are giving us something to share about. What have the Super Eagles done? And those people, they are doing it based on their own individual effort. Not because we have an adequate planning or preparation for them. No, it's because they are hungry, they want to make a name for themselves. So it is their own individual effort. It's not the effort of the NFF. That is nothing.
Attention has always been on the Eagles.
On the Eagles. Why do we have the attention there? We have the Golden Eaglets and the Flying Eagles that they went to Benin Republic and they went to Ghana to go and play competition. So how much is involved? That's the truth. But the Super Eagles...
The World Cup match against Ghana alone.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much FIFA even gave this country for the grassroots development of football? What happens to that money? No accountability, nothing. During that Congress, their statement needs to come out. We need to scrutinize. We need to make that office less attractive, so that we know people going in there, they are going in there to serve, not because they want to get something into their pocket. Sincerely, we need to get it right, and this is the time that we need to do it. Also, I think we have to call on the federal government also. An act was passed by the National Assembly concerning the NFF or NFA Act, because even the NFF that we are using currently now, the act to use that NFF has not been passed, has not been assented to by Mr. President. So that also needs to be looked into. We need to review the act itself. When you have 5 bodies, that they have equal rights.
But it seems some parts of the body have just they've been kept aside, and while only some parts are the one running the affair, because the players union right now is okay, they are the most important. Sure. But now they feel less among all the 5.
They're not part of the cabal.
And then you also look at the fact that even the FA chairman, some of them felt, okay, we are not being carried along since we are not part of the NFF executive committee. A lot of issues here. But right now, I love the fact that, okay, let's remove this from court. Let's settle and see what's going to happen in September, because right now that the director has actually come from Mr. President through the Federal Minister of Youth and Sport. We'll still be coming to that. But I'm looking at, from what Harrison Jala said there, that a responsible leadership would not allow such to have happened. Because now it's as if you are using the injunction to hold the whole country to ransom, because it means that without the injunction being set to a court, you can't conduct an election, because you keep using that as an opportunity to, okay, after all, I'm being taken to court and all that.
And that's very funny. You know why it's very funny? What stopped the NFF from challenging that injunction? By going to court also to challenge. If not because they have their own hand in it. So their own is, okay, we have court injunction, so we can't hold the election. It's not done that way. Just like you have the political parties now, and you have an injunction that, okay, a primary election should not be held. Other parties will not fold their hands. They will challenge it. But they didn't do that. They're like, okay, we have an excuse. We have a reason not to have the Congress. So that's the reason why the 5 bodies that they have that equal right needs to be reviewed. Because the people complaining now, we have to ask ourselves the honest question. Are they doing it because they have been sidelined, or they are doing it because they want the best for the country?
Yes,
if they are part of the cabal also.
I recall Barrister Chris Green saying, for the sake of Nigerian football development, the right process, due process should be followed. They should do the right thing. If they do the right thing, especially the players union, who they seems not to be even giving any credence at all. If you do the right thing, everybody will be happy. There won't be all these crises on ground. And I just hope that everything we see will actually get better when it comes to Nigerian football. That was it. You just saw the press conference there involving the players union, the BOT chairman, Harrison Jala, and also Barrister Chris Green talking, representing the FA chairman. And they were able to talk about how they will get that particular lawsuit out of court for the Congress to hold, and the election will be coming up in September. Well, we'll still be looking at another story that has to do with that same case. But before then, let's talk about the Wafubi under-17. The Golden Eaglets will be fighting out against the Junior Elephants today. It will be a match that a lot of people want to see. Will they be able to defeat Cote d'Ivoire? Cote d'Ivoire also, they've been on rampage so far in this competition. They've done well, and they are very tricky. According to Coach Nduka Ugbade, they will have to play better against the Junior Elephant, remembering what the senior one, the under-21, did against them. So they'll be coming to take a revenge against Nigeria.
Oh, well, you can only revenge someone that you are better than, or you are at par. That's the truth. Because there's an adage that says that if someone that is better than you beats you today, and tomorrow you said, okay, because you beat me yesterday, today I'll try. It's like you want to add to the beating that you've taken before. So that's where I look at it.
So are you automatically saying you are going to beat Cote d'Ivoire?
Golden Eaglet?
Yes.
Yes, as in capital yes, we are going to beat them. I don't have issue when it comes to the Golden Eaglets or the Flying Eagles, because number one, they have what it takes. Tactically, they have what it takes. If you look at the number of goals that they've scored now, and you look at the number of people that have scored the goal, you know that scoring goal is not our problem. And they play as a team, mass defense, mass attack. They don't allow anybody to lag behind. They cover up for themselves. And there's one thing that Nduka Agbade is doing, they're going to playing. He allowed that a lot. And that is actually the pattern and the style we are used to in this country. We play more from the wing. We move from the wing. 80% of our goals that we've scored during this tournament, even the Flying Eagles also, came from the wings. And the one we considered doesn't come from the wing also. So that shows that tactically he has gotten it right. He knows what he's saying, but nevertheless, he doesn't want us to relax that it's going to be over before it is over, because we need to qualify for the final before we can play in the under 17 Nations Cup. So that is the task ahead of us now, in which I'm very confident that the boys, they have what it is. And if you look at their faces,
they're very young.
you
Really,
know
they
this
are
is
under
really
17.
under 17, and that means they have a future ahead of them. We should just continue. Imagine if we pick from this under 17, we pick from this under 21, and we blend these people together. Let them challenge the Super Eagles. That is the truth. That is why in Europe, you see a player playing for 10, 15 years. Unlike ours, after 3 or 4 years, they're nowhere to be found again. So we still have to go back to the grassroots. All this under 17, all this under 21, we shouldn't just throw them away after this competition. We should make sure that we have a process of injecting them into from Golden Eaglets to the Super Eagles to under 23, then to the Super Eagles, the same thing for under 21, 23, then to the Super Eagles. So I'm confident tonight we're going to beat the baby elephant now.
Junior elephant.
Sorry, junior elephant. We're talking about junior elephant. Even their national team shouldn't be a problem if you are doing the right thing. So we are getting it right from junior elephant. We're going to deal with them.
Let's hope that particular will actually stand, because Nigeria, the Golden Eaglets, will be facing Junior Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire today in the semi-final that will be coming up. And also Black Satellite of Ghana, they will be facing Burkina Faso in another semi-final game. That will be another one. But from the way it is, Uduka Ugbade and his lads are battle ready to face the Junior Elephant, and they are really ahead. They are trying to see how they can do this to qualify for the finals and also qualify for the African Under-17 Championship. Good one there. Hopefully, the boys have been doing so well. They will be able to continue doing so well. We are believing in them that they will do well for Nigeria against Cote d'Ivoire tonight. Now, from there, let's go back to the NFF issue, where President Muhammadu Buhari has directed NFF to hold election in September with more representative in NFF Congress. That's the story we are looking at right now, because of the fact that a lot of disenfranchised body, parts of the NFF body, are saying they are not happy for the fact that they've been set aside in the NFF statute. They want amendment. According to the story, they want amendment, and they are saying, okay, according to what the federal government has done through the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development by writing a letter to NFF, say, okay, from the federal government, election must come up in September. That's when your tenure will be elapsing, and make sure you bring all the hands on deck, align the players union, all the 5 bodies that needs to be constituted together. Make sure everyone is carried along.
Okay, and that's what they call inclusive government.
Yes.
They want everybody to be there. They want everybody to participate. But the question is this: who are the people in line with the NFF Act that can vote during the Congress? That's the first thing that they need to look into. The player unions, yes, it's a very good one, but it is not enough for you to be asking for inclusiveness if you are not participating in the election. I expected them, during this process, to have their own candidate for the position. That is how they can become a member of the executive, because there's no law saying that they cannot contest or vie for any position, except if they don't have what it takes in terms of, do I need to say it, naira and kobo, to influence the decision of the delegates that will vote during the Congress. That is the issue. So everybody should come out and say that these are my candidates, and they have what it takes. We have Peter Said-Ida, who has been campaigning for a very long time. That
Akwebu Benedict
is coming out. Akwebere, that he even wants to do it. That I expected the player unions or other people that feel that they've been disenfranchised to go and approach these people, look at their manifesto. What do you really want to come and do? Not because we don't want Amadou Pinnick. We should not be blinded that, okay, anybody apart from Amadou Pinnick is better. No, we shouldn't make that mistake. So that the issue of the predecessor better than the successor will not come this time around. No, we shouldn't do it based on emotion. We should allow the right process by making sure that whoever we are campaigning, we want to bring on board, has a roadmap, strategy roadmap to make Nigeria the real giant of Africa in terms of football, to give us that name. I remember those days when they used to call us Green Eagles. If you want to play Green Eagles, then
you're scared.
You'll be scared.
You'll be afraid.
Man, I want to play them. How do I want to start? The first 10 minutes, you won't even know where to pass. You don't even know where to what to do.
Somebody was raising up this thing you're saying, that it seems what's happening, it seems our team, especially Super Eagles, keep dwindling. You remember 1994, 1980, Algiers 90, Senegal 92, how huge our players were then. When they stand on even the shortest player among them, the likes of Mutio Adepoju, JJ Okocha, they were short, Felix Owolabi and all of them.
Benedict
but
Iroha.
Iroha and all of, but you still feel like, oh, Lawal Oladimeji, Payosike, but despite the shortness, they still have that, they carry that strength that you'll be scared of them. But now, looking at Eagles, even if they are very tall, you cannot see that strength, that power that Eagles carry in those 90s and 80s. What's the problem?
Okay, maybe we have the fake Eagles now.
Fake Eagles?
Not the real Eagles now.
Or is it because they've eaten too much? The other guy mentioned and said, oh, because then the food they were eating was not that, they were taking a lot of Nigerian meal before they travel abroad. But now all of them are taking, I was just like, I said, this excuse is a bit very funny. But really, if you really look deep into it, somehow, our football really, Super Eagles, our football style, our football winning mentality, everything has dropped.
Yeah, the philosophy, everything has dropped, and the mentality of the players have dropped. They feel as if they are doing us a favor, that it is a must for us to use or to play them, and that is where we are getting it wrong. The players you just mentioned now, in terms of their commitment and dedication to the country, it was very, very high. I remember Taribo West, the last Nations Cup that we played. He was injured. Blood was gushing out.
He still kept on playing. We have Emmanuel Amunike, what he did to the 1994 Nations Cup that we won. They have an issue, and he told them that I'm injured, but I'll still make sure that I play. I'm not only going to play, I'll make sure that I score. And he did. Victor Akpeba did the same thing also, Atlanta 96. These are the people that are committed, and these are the people that they started from the home base. That is the problem we are having right now. Apart from Victor Osimhen, that can run the pitch for 24 hours, non-stop. Mention one other player that we have in the current Super Eagles that have that mentality of Nigerian players of those days. None of them, because they don't belong to the African terrain football. You wanted to call them one name. They are Ajebos, though.
And you know the funniest thing, when they are playing for their club, the same commitment that they are using to play over there is not what they are giving us here. How can you be, giving services to people that are giving you half-baked service when you have people that can? So the question is very simple. Let us concentrate our attention and our focus when it comes to the Super Eagles on the home base. Let it be 50-50. We've discussed it here and we'll continue saying it. If he wants to play, we are playing our next match in September. What stops us from having an open camp? We're used to open camp. Those days when we are playing
let the best players be picked.
When we are playing the
Nations Cup.
No, I'm not even talking about the Nations Cup. When we normally play the Principal's Cup.
Okay, Principal's Cup.
What they do is open camp from GS1, GS2, GS3, GS1. If you know you can play, come
and show your skills.
Come and show your skills. By the time you train for 1 day or 2 days, you'll be able to say that I'm not doing it again.
When you see better legs.
You see better legs. You yourself, you confirm that, no, I'm not good enough. This is the right. So we should have that also in all this geopolitical zone. Let's do it. It's cost intensive, but we have the money. If we have money that we are using for all these projects, the money they are using for some other things would not happen. So they'll use the money for the right thing, because the problem we are having is when it comes to Super Eagles. And if you don't take care of that, this Golden Eaglet, they are doing very well. The Flying Eagles, they are doing very well also. If we do not have this process in place, by the time they get to the Super Eagles, the same thing will happen again. Because it's like when you're having a cancer, if you detect it early, you do what? You cut it off, you treat it. But if you allow it to grow,
To spread.
it will spread. That is exactly what we're having with our Super Eagles now. So the earlier the better, we look into it. And how can we start? By getting it right from the NFF. So the election coming up in September, we need to put our eyes on it. The same way we are putting our eyes on general election coming up next year.
But one there, we've been talking about the NFF Congress. Well, right now, all the people involved are saying, well, let's see how we can cause this particular lawsuit out of court for Congress to hold an election coming up in September. We hope everything will just go well for Nigerian football development. That's it on 360 Sport on Trust TV. Thank you very much on the show.
Adeni, it's my pleasure being here, and I hope you two will try and vie for one position on the other in the NFF.
Would they allow me to get close? Oh my goodness, what a way to end the show. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching. Well, if they will allow